You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
I'm Toni Heath.
And this is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon.
It's in your ears.
That's where you listen to it. Today we're going to be talking about the third episode of the fourth season of Doctor Who, Planet of the Ood, which aired on April 19th, 2008.
True facts!
And joining us today, we have a brand new guest.
Ooh.
Brand new to the podcast, though he has been mentioned before by previous guests. And also, he's my coworker. Also, he is a comic book artist. His name's Andy Duggan.
Hey!
Hello.
Incredible introduction you just gave.
That was great.
I work with this guy. Also, I think he does art or something.
I know. Next time, I can't wait for you to get the mail lady to do the podcast. And you've got a whole business full of people who maybe know something about Doctor Who, maybe not.
Before we get started, how much Doctor Who have you consumed?
I thought this was a Seinfeld podcast. I watched the Seinfeld episode with the Ood.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's crazy. Kramer and the Ood. No, I started watching back like when everyone did, when David Tennant was on, and I think it's when Netflix had Doctor Who. It was maybe like one of the times it was most easy to get. And so I watched all through Matt Smith. I don't remember if I went too much further than that because that was kind of new episodes and they weren't getting those as much. And then they took it off of there, so I didn't get to watch anything. And then I went back and started, as you know, back from the beginning and working my way back up through all of them, but have got hung up on the third Doctor and have a hard time getting through that one.
That's fair. No extended media stuff?
Yes, I've read some of the books. I couldn't remember what they were called right off. I know I've read a 10th Doctor book. I've read some of the comics. Well, I've watched some of the unaired episodes or the restored ones with the animation. I've watched some of those. I think I've seen some of Torchwood, but maybe when I didn't know it was related.
Amazing.
And then I did watch all of the newest Doctor. I've seen all of Shudigatwa's stuff. So as we talk about it, I may remember more things I've interacted with. I played the Lego Dimensions Doctor Who expansion.
That's the best Doctor Who game ever made.
It really is.
Miss Lego's Dimension.
When you die, you regenerate. They put way too much work into a corner of this game that probably no one played.
You can absolutely tell it was lovingly built by nerds.
Yes.
Also, the best use of the angels with the
Yep.
lights would go out. It's so good.
Yeah, that was really good. I would love a full-fledged Lego Doctor Who game, selfishly.
So, in addition to that, I believe you have drawn at least 2 Doctor Who related things, because one of them is hanging up on my wall. You drew me a little second Doctor.
Okay. Oh, I do remember that.
And also you did the thing with Richard Starkings.
Yeah, and then we did that. Richard was doing a special print. I think it was for Hulanta. That was, I can never pronounce his name, Absalom
Dak?
Yeah, the Dalek Hunter. I think he got someone to redraw part of it because he wanted it to look a lot like the original, and I just kind of did it in my style. But I did that little thing, and I've done little things here and there, but nothing that was probably maybe the closest to official thing I've done.
Would you do Doctor Who comics if they asked you to?
Absolutely.
That's probably a dumb question.
No, I'm going to say no.
I think drawing Doctor Who stuff would be really fun because, I would want to just do all the crazy aliens and stuff. I think that's the most fun. And those are, my favorite episodes is when it's just something really weird looking.
That reminds me of what we're talking about today.
Great set into the Ood.
Which I did request this when you gave me a list of episodes. I was like, oh, I really like the Ood. And for a lot of reasons, especially their look, but also that I feel like a lot of times they get lumped up into villains, or I guess they're antagonists sometimes, but they're really good, chill dudes.
It's true. Well, we'll get into it. I'm going to do a quick summary, and then we'll dive into, like, the nitty-gritty.
Let's go.
Good luck summarizing this one.
It's not a great summary, but I've also come up with an alternate title. I've called it Ood Swings.
So you have.
That's good.
All right, here's my summary. The Doctor and Donna land on an ice planet and discover Ood operations. They investigate and discover that slavery is bad. The Ood, with a little help from their friends, reconnect with their giant brain and kill everyone, except the guy that they turn into an Ood. Revolution! That's my very brief summary.
I like it.
Okay.
You're just skimming over the top, but you hit the major points.
Yeah. Slavery bad. Guy gets turned into an Ood.
Shipping containers full of Ood. Let's really hope those don't get turned upside down. You're going to open those up when they arrive at their destination. It's going to be Ood goo everywhere.
I really love that whole sequence in the shipping containers with
the crane.
The big mechanical arm.
I love how the guy's like, I've always wanted to do this. You've always wanted to chase someone down with a mechanical arm and pinch him off the ground.
Everything about the way that actor is making choices, I believe that about that guy.
Yeah.
This is absolutely a security guard who has just been fucking waiting.
I will say this character also falls into the one thing I don't like about this episode, or
Yes.
most science fiction that deals with racism, is they always make the black guy the, like, main racist dude.
Yeah.
He literally has a whip and he's hitting the slaves with it. Why in sci-fi do they always have to be like, look, even the black people are racist to the aliens?
Because it's written by a white guy. And he's got to feel good about himself.
And if it was like, if I had seen it like once or twice, I'd be like, whatever. It is consistently, anytime this type of story comes up, the main, like, bad character, they're like the main slaver character, or the main racist character is going to be black. Every time.
And, like, I feel like a lot of times they're also a cop or a security guard or something.
Yes.
They're also, like, in a position of power.
Yeah.
Hey, white writers, we should stop doing that.
Like, I even noticed it in, like, I've been rewatching or watching the Netflix Marvel stuff, and even, like, there's Jessica Jones, and, like, there's this black cop that's, like, racist against superheroes, and it's like,
Just stop.
just stop.
It's not a good look. It looks bad.
Yeah, but if you become an Ood, it unifies everyone.
I do like that the end of the episode too, like, the whole episode isn't about, like, freeing all of the Ood, right? It's about headquarters and what's going on at headquarters. And the way that the episode ends is like, yeah, we called everyone and said slavery's over. So that should do it, bye!
I know, we called 3 galaxies worth of people, and we told them, hey, this really lucrative business you've got, let's cut it out.
I just feel like that's never caused any consequences of any sort before.
Like, there's no one else in power. It was all run by this one guy who set up his business on a frozen planet.
For some reason.
For some reason, they didn't explain. It's not like, oh, they're more docile here. Unless did they say where they got the Ood brain? It wasn't, like, based on that planet, was it?
I do think it was. I do think that is the Ood planet.
Well, it's Planet of the Ood, so that would make sense.
I gotta say, it seems like a real bad evolutionary design to just have your brain in your hand.
Yeah.
You get that great moment of them going, bleh. They just catch it. I love that. Yeah, it does seem really bad. And what they replace it with is like a universal translator. But does their normal brain do that?
I have to imagine that with the normal brain, right? They're just telepathic, so they don't speak at all. And so that's why they replace it with, like, the translator, is that they probably don't...
Want them to be telepathic?
Well, I'm saying, like, they probably don't even have, like... This, I'm thinking way too much about this, but it's fine. They probably don't have, like, vocal cords, because they're just telepathic. And so the translator is also just, like, a speaker.
It's just get early 2000s, like, iPod speaker. Yeah, and also, okay, if the company built those little translator things, why did you make them where if you touch them on somebody, they shoot big electrical shocks? I don't know. Those things did not make a whole lot of sense to me.
I do love the dialogue of the, like, technician who's, like, looking at it after it happens, who's just like, well, that's not supposed to happen. There's no reason why that would happen. By all rights, it doesn't make any sense. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, one of my notes was, how does the communications device shock people to death? Another one of my thing is, after they free the Ood, I really liked when the guy said, enjoy your Ood. I will say I really liked the kind of classic comedic opening. I thought that was good. And I do think early on, I think the planet looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
In most scenes, there's that part where like the rocket flies over. It looks a little like Futurama rocket. But I do actually think for the time frame, that opening scene where they walk out onto that kind of ice bridge, I was like, this actually looks really cool. Like, I really like this.
Yeah, it looks cool. It's ice cold.
I'm kicking you off the podcast.
You just wait. I've got puns aplenty.
I will say, I love Donna's coat. The big fluffy hood. It's too silly, which also makes the moment where, like, they first meet that dying Ood and she's crying over hearing its song, like, really beautiful to me.
Because she's wearing the big coat?
Because she's wearing the big puffy hood, yes.
It's all the aesthetic of the moment.
Speaking of comedy moments, that wasn't a comedy moment, but they do once again do the mistaken for a married couple bit.
Yeah.
Always good because they do not like it.
Yeah, that was really good. Now, I don't know if in your research, is this the third time we've seen the Ood?
I believe it's the second.
Second time?
Yeah.
Or it's the first one. The first one I think is a two-parter.
Yeah.
And then this is the second storyline where we see them. And I don't remember, I would need to go back and watch the previous one to see how much of this lore did they talk about in the first one.
Almost none.
Okay.
The thing that I really actually like about this episode is...
It's the doctor kind of going like, I kind of dropped the ball on the Ood.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Like, all this lore and stuff that's established is kind of poking at the fact that the doctor, like, met this slave race and was like, huh, that's cool. The devil is here.
I have bigger fish to fry like the devil.
I believe he literally lets the Ood die, right?
Yeah. Something that I really enjoy about this episode is that it's poking a lot at the, like, implications of another two-parter where it was like, yeah, we kind of set this up and then just didn't have time to go into any of the implications. Let's talk about it now.
Literally in the last one, they're a slave race. They enjoy being subservient. And then the doctor's like, okay. And then this time he's like, actually, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Now that I'm thinking of it, now that the devil's behind us.
It is there to give Rose a chance to, like, Rose very clearly does say, like, that doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. And, like, tries to get to know them. And so, like, that scene is there to let you know information about Rose. So it's interesting now to see it, like, the scene was written with, like, a very specific function.
Yeah.
And it served that function, and then we didn't think about it any beyond that. And so it's interesting to then go back and, like, pull at some of the, like, darker implications.
And I do really like when, like, Doctor will have a thing, like, oh, I've got to deal with the devil in this. And there's not really I can't 100% get everything good out of this.
Yeah.
And he does kind of come back later and he's like, I know I did the right thing, but like I couldn't do everything. And I think that even goes all the way up until the latest seasons, like when he, split and everything. And the one part of him is so tired. And I feel like it kind of goes back to these moments of like, I just couldn't do everything. Every time I ran into these things, there was stuff I left on the table that wasn't fully ironed out. I do like seeing him when he's not like perfect. He doesn't 100% go out in the end with a little joke and everything's back to normal. It's like, no, he's carrying weight along the way.
And even in this one, it's not 100%, clear cut. Like when the guy gets turned into an Ood, the Donna's like, I don't know how to feel about this. Doc's like, just...
Like, that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Okay, did that have to do with the hair tonic?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So the hair tonic was actually Ood juice the whole time.
Like what would fall out of the the shipping containers when you get it and it lands? The Ood juice just pulls out.
Ugh.
It's a weird choice to be like, how do we disguise it? It's not like, oh, he likes a little martini or something. It's like, no, he's like shotgunning hair tonic. That's an odd choice.
I love it too, of just thinking about like, is this stuff meant to be taken? Like, if it was hair tonic, you're supposed to take it 20 times a day. Like, that's a bad product.
And did he not question what it was when the Ood showed up like every 5 minutes? He doesn't have the bottle. He just has the thing. It's like, are you keeping this over there? Or is this actually not what I think it is?
He's never questioned that. He's never even seen. He doesn't even know. They just showed up and was like, for your hair.
He doesn't know what the tonic bottle looks like. He's like, I need more tonic. And he hears the Ood go like... And then he comes over and hands him a little cup. He's like, oh, I guess it's hair tonic.
I mean, I've always wanted to spit in my boss's cup. You know?
He's just holding his tentacles and milking them into the cup.
We're expanding the Ood lore here.
I do think, really importantly, nothing in this episode happens because of actions taken by the Doctor.
No, it's another convenience thing.
Really, the revolution was already in progress. If the Doctor had not shown up, this still would have happened.
Now, I know that normally that's like a criticism of like writing. In this case, I think that's like exactly the correct choice. One, given like slavery stories, this is another thing that's a bad look.
White savior.
Yeah. To just have a white guy show up and be like, oh, I fixed it. It's much better to have, the people themselves solving the problem.
It got to show Donna one of those things of like, not everything we stumble upon is something we fix, and not everything we do is something good. You're more observing, like, hey, we're this many thousands of years in the future. You can kind of look and be like, oh yeah, it's still not perfect. It's not like, oh, this utopian. And it may even look kind of nice, but I feel like a lot of the Doctor's thing is kind of being that, like, I'm going to like teach some of my companions about what can happen. And so when they go back, they can kind of, be kind of a light that can kind of guide away from some of this stuff.
Yeah, I think this is such a good, I'm going to be saying this a lot. I think this is such a good episode for Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Every episode.
Her arc's really good, and I'm never going to stop talking about it, but the way that she reacts to this knowledge, it's heavy for her. And the moment where the Doctor gives her the ability to hear the song of, the Song of Captivity? And the Doctor's like, are you sure you want to hear it? And she's like, yes, like witnessing it is an important part of the thing that we're doing. And then when she can't bear it, she can't stand it, how, like, the depth of how sad it is, she apologizes. I love Donna Noble so much.
Well, I think Donna, and I the more I watch, the more I realize, is maybe the best lens for the audience, because she actually acts like a real person in a situation. Whereas, like, there's some moments where, like, the Doctor gets a companion and they're like, okay, let's go. She's the most like, okay, am I the only normal one here looking around and seeing what I'm seeing? Because this is not okay. She kind of has the most, like, grounded down to earth, not as starstruck by everything, but a little bit more critical about what she's seeing. And I always appreciate that.
I also really love that, given her introduction as kind of this
comedy character.
Yep, comedy character, but like if you look at her early characterization, it's very like airheaded, not paying attention to what's going on. Like, she's introduced as like having a very shallow personality. Getting to know her at all, it's like, that was never correct. That was never a correct assumption, yeah.
I really like this episode. I mean, the Ood as a character, as a race of creatures, feels very classic Doctor, because they're just a guy in a suit with a weird mask and stuff. But I think that's some of the best Doctor stuff. When they try to go a little bit too over the top, I think is when it gets a little shaky. But they're kind of like fill-ins for other human-related things. I did have a note that David Tennant's hair is its most pointy it ever is here. And there's a moment at the beginning where he's face to face with Donna and the silhouette of the TARDIS behind him. His hair must be sticking out like 7 inches, like almost poking her in the head. That was just a thing I noticed. Love the guy falling into the brain.
I was watching The Confidential, and there is a very specific reason that guy falls into the brain and dies.
What?
He's pushed by the dude who's losing his hair, right?
Yeah.
It's because they were like, we need to have him kill somebody so he seems evil enough that when we turn him into an Ood, you're like, yeah, instead of like I didn't do anything that bad. So that's why it was written in.
Okay. That's actually kind of wild. I hated the sound that it made. I hated everything about watching it and hearing it and experiencing it.
Yeah, every time a brain is in something, they make it way more jelly than a brain actually is.
Yes, why is it so juicy?
It's like even the real brain they're holding is like so jelly.
So moist.
It's like, no, brain's pretty firm.
I did enjoy the transformation of him like ripping the skin off. It's so gross. And like the spaghetti tentacles falling out of his mouth. It was really well done.
A little body horror.
Did you say that it was more intense? And they pulled back on it?
I think it was a little more intense, and they did pull back on it a little bit. So.
That's wild. Because it's genuinely kind of terrifying.
Yeah, and It is funny that a dude worried about his hair eventually just becomes a big bald monster. That's fine.
Man, it must suck to get hired for those acting gigs. Like, I'm hired because I'm balding.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it the whole time.
Episode.
Now, is this the first? I don't think they talked about it in the other one, but the first time the Ood are the ones who reappear to kind of bring up the doctor's death.
Yes, I think.
Because this Ood shows up in a later episode.
Oh, yeah.
And the doctor's like, is it my time yet? Type thing. So they kind of represent that. I'm not 100% sure why, other than basically this episode and that moment at the very end, that like all things have endings.
Yeah, there was a little reference there. I feel like there was a previous reference in the last episode, but I don't remember. I feel like the doctor gonna be dying soon.
It's something where they're all prophesizing. I know what you're thinking about. It's not the doctor dying. It's
Rose returning.
Do they hint at that? The thing I remember is telling Donna for the first time that she has something on her back.
Oh yeah. This season I feel like has a lot of like, here are things that are coming up. Usually it's like one thing, and I feel like this season has multiple things.
Yeah.
Because you've got, Rose returning is like a thing. You've got there's something on your back, and then you've got the missing planets, and then you've also got the bees.
The thing about the bees is weird. Like that line.
If you watched this episode or any in this season out of context, you would be very like, they say some really random stuff that they don't go back to. And I kind of appreciate that. I feel like more than it be confusing, I would be like, well, I want to like watch more to see like if that's brought up later. Rewatching this, I remember how much I enjoyed all those little nuggets and not knowing what they're leading to, but feeling like, okay, they do have an answer. And some of the answers are better than others, but really enjoying that almost like Lost feel of like, hey, we're just sprinkling not just Bad Wolf every time, but all these other little things. I thought was really fun.
I don't remember how it all pays off, so I'm excited to see how it does.
It's really good in some ways.
I remember some of the payoffs, but not all of them.
I think everyone just remembers the Bad Wolf Beach and stuff, and that's the main like payoff thing. Not to talk down about the most recent season, but the kind of like dropping the ball a little bit on teases and teases and teases, and then not being able to fully flesh those out or having to hold back. I could see like if they had to do that on this with having even more teases would have been really frustrating.
Yeah. But that was also like, this is like the end of not just the season, but there's also the end of Tenet, the end of RTD. Mm-hmm. You gotta kind of have to wrap stuff up.
Yeah.
It'd be very rude to just leave a bunch of stuff for Stephen Moffat to deal with.
Not that I don't feel like that's happened in the past where a previous showrunner just like goes like, okay, good luck. Here's a bunch of broken Legos. I hope you can build something with it.
Interestingly, I think there was a lot of things left over from Chibnall's era that didn't get paid off that RTD actually did stuff with, which I was surprised.
He said, hand me those broken Legos. I got an idea.
I think I can make a spaceship.
I thought he would just ignore it altogether, but...
Yeah. This one, especially like going back, and I was kind of been previously rewatching like Eccleston into Tenet and all of this, but now to kind of jump into like, Deep Water with this one, which I haven't watched this episode in a couple of years now, really like made me excited. Like, oh man, I can't wait to get back up to this far into it, because you realize just how rich this era is. And I get why. One, like Tenet is the one that most people watched, just given the time frame, but there's not enough credit given to the world building, the characterizations, it's a little bit of a monster of the week without it just being completely standalone. Like the next episode, like, the one I was watching, it's like next time on Doctor Who, it's like the Centaurans one. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember really liking that one too. I miss the like dearth of just weird one-off alien episodes.
Well, we don't do episodic TV anymore. Not really.
Yeah.
And that's a mistake. That's a mistake we're all collectively making.
Well, because you can't, with the later seasons, it's harder to be like, the blank episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, yeah, is that like part 1, part 2, part 3 when they showed up again? It's all kind of one big thing. You're like, well, it's the third part of that season or whatever. And I don't know. Even though you do have some like special characters show up, it still doesn't feel as like each of them has like their individual identity. Even in like tone, like some are more comedic, some are darker. That's also kind of missing in the episodic feel of them.
I really miss episodic. It's like we're watching through Community right now, and it's so nice because it's like every episode.
They're like,
is,
oh, we're at the paintball one.
Yeah, it's the paintball episode. It's the zombie episode. It's the I like episodes like that. So I was always more into Buffy than Angel, except for Angel season 5, which goes back to being episodic. So
That's true. It does, doesn't it?
yeah.
That's why it's so weird. This makes sense.
Okay, so if the Ood had an album, titles for that album and song titles would be Ooding to the Oldies.
That sounds dirty. They're ooding in there.
It's better than Sweating to the Oodies. If the Ood has to go in there somewhere, it's better at the beginning. So for the Christmas album, they have Ood Lang Syne. You also have Ood by Yellow Brick Road. Ood Vibrations. The worst one is Feel Good Ood Inc. by the Gorilla Oods.
Just awful.
And then I just wrote Ood, I Lost My Car. Not a song, just a hit movie starring I don't know, Ashton Kutcher Ood.
Actually, would watch the hell out of that.
Was it Scott Williams? No, it's Sean William Scood.
But can you just imagine that cover where it's like kind of like fish-eyed, but it's just Ood? I think that would be great.
Ood, where's my orb? That's what it should be.
Why wasn't there a nod to them in the intergalactic contest episode?
Yeah.
To have like an Ood on stage, like doing an Ood song and everyone's like crying or something, like just a nod. But I feel like the more recent ones, they were a little bit more afraid to bring back some classic stuff. And they got a lot of like flack when people are like, oh, you just recycle. But I think there's fun uses of some of these characters. And I would have liked to have seen, I don't remember, I was looking at the list the last time the Ood appeared. But I think it was in a Jodie episode, but I think it was like in the background.
Oh, I think it's the episode where she's in the prison with all the other...
She's in the prison. There's a couple of other classic Who characters in there. But I don't know if they have a spotlight episode really after this one.
I don't think so either. I mean, the Ood does come back for like the last of Tenet, but there's not a Ood specific episode. Ood focused.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Have you ever drawn an Ood?
Live Ood drawing. Yeah, I took that class in college. I don't think so. I like their juxtaposition of their very Lovecraftian, I'm sure that's a big basis of them is their tentacle mouths and all of that. But then they're just like a dapper butler when you talk to them. I like that a lot. I wasn't sure, are they all voiced by the same person even when he transforms? Because suddenly it sounded just like every other Ood.
I don't know. Probably. It's cheaper that way.
I feel like maybe that's just like what their vocal box sounds like or something.
Oh, they did have different sounds on the translator thing.
Oh, I do like that bit.
Oh, because you could be a sexy Ood.
Yeah.
Okay, why was one just Homer Simpson?
Oh.
I truly believe if anything's gonna make it that far into the future, any cultural reference, it's gonna be The Simpsons. It's still running.
Yeah, it's still running by that time. And people are like, oh, remember The Simpsons was good back in like the 2000s or something. No, I was also trying to think of like, if I was going to do like an Ood comic or an Ood story, like what would I want to do? And I do think a very Doctor Who thing would be to have an episode or an issue or a series or something where there's like a future intergalactic recording artist is trying to market their songs and like use them as like some kind of like manipulation something, and there's like a hit pop star Ood. I feel like that would just be weird and fun.
And then you'd have like subliminal messages, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
Backmasking or whatever it's called.
Josie and the Pussycats?
Yeah, just do Josie and the Pussycats, but with
Ood.
Yeah. See, I think that would be a really fun story. And you have like their crazy like future manager, and they're just like very passive about like their recording and stuff. But they're in the recording studio with like big headphones on. That'd be cool.
I support this.
They don't even have ears, do they?
I think they just have head holes.
Head holes. That's where the ood juice comes from.
Ew.
Earwax?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ew. When they get like the red eyes and then they eat people's faces, that was because of
The brain.
being cut off from the brain or like getting mixed signals.
I think it's reconnecting to the brain.
Yeah, I think it's the like pent up rage that
Yeah.
they were experiencing made them feral.
And I think the big brain like amped it up because like the guy that's the friend of the ood that gets thrown into the brain.
He was lowering the
He was
barriers.
lowering the barrier so that they could.
But they were
reconnect
getting
to the
red eye
brain.
before that.
I think he done it by the beginning of the episode.
No, because that was like the first time when we see him in the brain room. That's the first time he's ever been there.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
It almost feels like it was maybe like fluctuating or something. At first I was like, oh, are like without their connection to it, they're super feral. But it's like, oh no, they clearly for a long time they've been in the galaxy doing fine. I guess working for people who can own them. So I didn't quite get why all of a sudden they were going feral.
What they say in the episode is that like the ood are like we're evolving throughout time to reconnect to that brain to like basically work around whatever the electrified fence around it was, and that the friends of the ood came in and accelerated that process by lowering the barrier.
And also the one ood is completely like because he's been like sabotaging that one guy
The whole time.
Yeah.
So, but like the doctor has a line that like connects each of those, the red eye, the like full being rabid, and Sigma, of like, these are the emotions that were being suppressed. And because they were being suppressed, they're amped up. Because he's like, the rage came out in the red eye. I forget what he says about the rabid ones. And then Sigma's like, all of the patience was like focused on just the one.
I'm looking at the TARDIS wiki. It says, red eye was caused by the subconscious of the ood brain reemerging amongst the ood after 200 years of slavery, due mostly to the sabotage of ood operation systems by the friends of the ood.
I guess there may have been stuff we didn't see of like how it was being sabotaged, and maybe that caused it to have some inconsistencies and some almost like solar flares that were causing that thing to happen. I would love to see a story too, because I feel like they have the ood brain, but they didn't really talk about it much. That like, was that originally a regular ood brain that they spit up, become the like giant ood brain after the previous one dies? Or is there a giant ood like in the planet that's his brain? I would love to see something like that. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I liked the idea of a giant ood.
A giant ood at the center of the planet.
Just curled up in the fetal position.
Draw that.
Yeah, that image is freaking me out.
Yeah, people will really get that reference. But I think that's all really cool. Like I would have liked to have seen more lore about the brain and the history of these people, like we got with some of the other species that they keep going back to.
I'm always for more lore. Just lore it up, you know?
Lore it up.
Yeah, I'm too much in the Star Wars universe where you see something, you're like, yeah, there's 7 books about that. Like, yeah, that's what I want. If I see something, I'm like, that's cool. I'm going to go read about it. And then for some Doctor Who stuff, it feels like it kind of stops at this episode.
Unless you go into like Big Finish and
Say,
stuff.
I kind of like it because I like to have the room to create the lore myself.
I will say, if you go to the TARDIS wiki, you can just search like Apple, and it'll show you every single instance.
Oh,
of
it's
Apple.
fully documented.
Yeah, I was looking at the Ood, and I was like, okay, I want to see all the places they appear. And I'm like, man, they're in this many episodes? And it's like, no, one was briefly mentioned
Yes.
in an offhand comment in this one episode, so we considered an appearance. I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's not as many as I thought it originally was.
It looks like they were in a couple of comics, too, when I was on that Red Eye page, so...
When you're on that page, Late Night Flight, that red eye.
I'm just thinking of the movie Red Eye, which was pretty good.
Ugh. I hate the movie Red Eye.
Because she stabs him in the neck with the
Yeah.
knife? Yeah.
Well, that's something I saw too young to see it, I think.
I saw it when it came out, and I was fine with it. We're the same age.
Yeah, but I never watched any scary movies ever.
Oh, okay.
And so I didn't know you could do a violence like that. I didn't know that was allowed.
Pretty sure that movie's PG-13, you wuss.
I was gonna say, it's important that you know this is not like when I say I never watched any scary movies, it's not like I was sheltered as a child.
You sheltered
yeah. This was a decision I made. Like, I have like a very clear memory of sitting on the couch with my dad watching Alien. And he kind of looks over at me and he goes, "You're probably too young to be watching this." And then turns back to keep watching the movie. Like, me, like, just like, "Hey, consider." And instead of saying I can't do anything. And after a while, I was like, "Yeah, I don't like the way this movie makes me feel," and then left. And that's how I've operated for a long time.
It works.
Until Joe sits you down and forces you to watch something because it's Valentine's Day.
And now I've seen all of Child's Play.
Not yet. You've seen the two best ones.
I've seen the funny ones.
Yeah.
Because if it was just violence, I'd be like, "I don't like the way this makes me feel," and then I would leave.
I did want to ask, so it's talking about the first appearance of the Oodies in a TARDIS-ode. What is that? And do you ever talk about those?
Yeah, for the third series, it was the second series because Rose was in it. For the second series, there were these little mini episodes that were released on like a mobile thing. And they're just little episodes, like teasers for the actual episode.
Were they like trailers or were they like actually a story?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say a story. They were like a little scene. They were not in the episode, so
okay,
it is new stuff. The best one is the one for what is it? The one where the girl draws stuff and it comes to life or whatever, which is not the best episode. Fear Her.
Yeah, what's the TARDIS for Fear Her?
It's like
I'm shocked that anything is from Fear Her is the best of something.
It's like this really cheesy, like,
oh yeah,
commercial for like we look for kids that are missing. Here's our phone number if you have.
Oh god,
and it's just so cheesy and over the top. It's the best one.
What did I say when we watched it? I was like, it's, as someone who's been in this exact positions before, it's so clear to me that they didn't have anything for this one, and they said, "We got like a day to film this. Just go and do whatever," and that's what they made.
Yeah, it was really good. It was only for season 2, though.
It's crazy. There's so many extra little Doctor Who things that I don't know about because like America didn't get them. Little bonus Who stuff and episodes and shows about the show and all of that maybe you can find on YouTube or something, but for the most part.
Or yeah, it's like the first real scene with David Tennant isn't in an episode. It's in a little mini episode that was done for Comic Relief.
Oh, yeah.
Comic Relief gets a lot of really good stuff, like actual stuff.
Actual produced by the show stuff.
They're not just like throwaway bits. They actually feel like, oh, this was actually really well done.
And also something you should probably watch if you want to know everything. And they're written by people who write for the show. They're usually written by RTD or Stephen Moffat or whatever. But yeah, is there anything else we need to talk about this episode before we go to a break?
I just feel like I didn't get to talk about Donna Noble enough.
You always think that, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Then I say let's go to a break.
All right.
Let's go to a break.
Drew Leiter here with some exciting news. The Earth Station DCU podcast is officially evolving into the Legends of the DCU podcast. Cletus Jacobs and I are still diving deep into the DC universe every week, bringing you the same compassionate reviews of DC news, comics, television, and movies. But now with a fresh name, a bold new logo, and a brand new theme music to match the energy of the show. It's never been a better time to be a DC fan, and we can't wait for you to join us for this next chapter.
And we're back.
Wow, that was a long break.
It was forever.
I've been sitting here for hours.
I took a shower, cooked a meal.
Maybe that's why it took so long. You said we're going to a break, and then you just stood up and walked off.
We were both sitting here like, that's weird. What do we do now? I guess we're taking a break.
You recorded your own little mini episode that you're going to release on Comic Relief.
Yep, exactly.
But it has really high production quality. I think you'll be impressed.
I can't wait to see it.
It's a lot of flashbacks and nods to previous episodes.
Tony, do you know what time it is?
Yes.
What time is it?
I am aware of what time it is. Thank you for asking.
And what time is it?
It's time to do final thoughts.
Yay!
I really liked it. I think it's a good, like pretty much self-contained episode. I think it has a lot of fun teases and a lot of fun little extra bits that if someone was just watching it the first time would maybe make them want to watch more. I think there's good character moments. I think Donna has great character moments. I think the Doctor has pretty good moments. For the most part, he's kind of just humdrumming it through the entire thing. Not in a bad way, but like, they go on the tour And he's just like, I don't know, we're just going to go on this tour. Like, he doesn't necessarily know what's going on. So I think that's fun. I think some of the best episodes, as much as I like the Doctor as the central character, I think he's a really fun, this is your safe guide through the episode.
Yes.
You know, he pulls you through the episode, but he's not necessarily the, like, I don't think he always needs to be the instigator or the, like we were talking about, like, he doesn't need to be the one who fixes everything. He's kind of like that, like, observer type character. And I think he works really well when he almost is like we were saying, teaching like Donna, not teaching her a lesson, but like, I'm a safe person to experience all this stuff with. I think that's really cool. And I think this episode did a lot of that. He'll jump in if it's like, okay, I really see some injustice going on here. But for the most part, I really liked his, hey, I'm just going to stand back and observe all of this.
But the Ood do their thing.
I just really like this season. I think maybe if you're listening to this, you're starting to get that idea. Yeah, I love the Ood. They're a fantastic design. I'm going to really date and out myself. I had a side account on Gaia Online that was called the Ood. It was a remarkably close reconstruction on a very limited Avatar website. And I would kind of role play with people as the Ood.
As an Ood?
So I like that. And I like this episode. That's it. I've already given too much information away.
I remember that. I forgot that you were the Ood. Didn't you also have John Crichton from Farscape?
Specifically in Crackers Don't Matter, in the episode where he has green puke on his face. Yes.
Yeah. You're a very specific person.
After this episode, I did go on eBay and I was like, I know they made an Ood figure. I want to see, like, to go with my doll, like, if there's a little Ood. They're all way too expensive, and they're not great looking like most of the Doctor Who toys of the time. But they're fun. They've got the little communicator. You can get, like, a normal one that has, like, the man-made communicator, or one that just has a little pink jelly thing. There's also, like, a 12-inch Ood doll. I'm like, I don't know. That's kind of weird. But I'd take it. But once again, way too expensive. You should do a whole bonus episode. I don't know if you have, about just like Doctor Who merch.
Oh, that would be fun.
Like through the different eras, because it's really fun to see like how it's evolved and how it hasn't evolved. And it's like, oh, here we go. Here's another Dalek again.
We could talk about how good and how bad the adipose toys are.
Adipose toy is sticky and gross.
I always wanted one.
It's the exact texture that you want it to be, right? It's the exact right amount of squishy. And then immediately, whatever it's made out of becomes sticky and just attracts all dirt.
Ugh.
And yes, and so there's just like all the dust in your house is stuck to it. And you're like, cool.
You pick it up and it just...
I hate looking at this and touching it now.
I would love if that was actually in the adipose episode where he just picks up cat hair and a bunch of other gross stuff.
I will also say I do bonus episodes for the Patreon where I've been going through all the expanded media in order. And that included a story about the Doctor and the Daleks on a series of candy cigarettes boxes.
Ooh.
I love you so much.
That's some rich storytelling, I'm sure.
It's a very bizarre story. It's online somewhere, so I believe the Doctor teams up with the Daleks at one point.
Mm-hmm.
That's how bizarre it is. You can listen to me talk about that on our Patreon at patreon.com/Watch-A-Thon.
That was all just a setup for me to give you a plug.
Yeah, I'm like, and I haven't even done my final thoughts yet. I'm jumping the gun.
Out of order, man.
Yeah, all right. I'll do my final thoughts, and then we'll jump to plugs. My final thoughts are basically what you two said. That's the problem when there's three people in the episode. By the time it gets to
we said
me,
it all.
I'm like, yeah, I got nothing new to say. Ood good. Ood good.
No.
I liked it. I like that the Ood do the revolution themselves. Revolution! Like, there's a large portion of the finale that's just the Ood murdering people, and you're like, yeah!
Do it.
I like how, like, you know, they're shocking people, and the one just jumps on a guy and eats his face, and they're like, don't look at that. And it's like, they have little mouths in there? Like, wait, what happened here? I feel like they were just like, we've got these things, we really want to shake them on somebody's face. Because there's no real, like...
I forgot about that.
Like, that's the scariest thing. It goes, like, straight up, like, zombie, like, eating his face. And they kind of imply, like, hey, this is pretty brutal. We're not going to, like, cut back to it. It's like, oh, why aren't they just doing that the whole time?
Oh, it's so good. I also want to mention another little tiny thing that I liked. which is that you have this tour guide character, and I feel like in a typical episode would sort of turn to good, has that moment, and then just goes, nah, I'm going to rat you guys out to the bad guys.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the whole tour part, which is just horrible things happening and her making stuff up on the fly of why it's not bad. Like, oh, these are the fire alarms. We test them every day at this time.
We didn't turn them off for this occasion.
Yeah, no. And we didn't warn you about these beforehand to give you a little heart attack.
Didn't talk about all of the characters who are on the tour and how they're the best vignettes of terrible people.
Yes.
Yes. That's a whole, a whole different episode is just this weird tour and horrible things going wrong. And they're like freaking out. And then they're like, oh, it's fine. And they go, oh, okay. And they go back to drinking. It's like, you don't want to just like stop and think like, maybe this isn't such a great idea.
It's such a good episode. There's a lot going on, a lot more than I remembered.
Yeah.
Because this was not one I remembered going into it. I had vague memories. I was like, I know the Ood's in it. I vaguely remembered the crane thing. There's a lot of good stuff in this episode. I'm glad we're rewatching it.
Yeah, I had a hard time remembering what was this Ood episode and what was a different Ood episode.
This one doesn't have the devil in it.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Don't get it confused. The devil is not in this one.
It is in the details, though.
No, I think the show's over now.
All right, fine. Before we go, is there anything you would like to plug?
I would like to plug, I am going to be at C2E2 in Chicago coming up this month, late this month in March. So come see me there. I'll be selling art and doing commissions and much cool stuff like that. I've got a lot of fun stuff in the works that I can't talk about yet that hopefully comes to fruition. We'll see. And then also the place where Joe and I work. I have a YouTube channel, Infinity Flux, on YouTube, where we talk about comics that are coming out or had just come out. We give you a better idea of the kind of things that you can expect when you go into your store on Wednesday. On Mondays, we do a show where we read all the big books of the week that are coming out, and we tell you a little bit about them and why you may want to pick them up. And then we do a show on a Friday where we talk about books that are on pre-order and why you may want to pre-order those and how important it is to pre-order so you don't miss out on the stuff that you want. So I'm always doing something.
I was on the Christmas special.
You are on the Christmas special. The Christmas special included me going around and being like, do you want to do you want to be on our video real quick?
And I, of course, said yes.
We should get you on more just to talk about, I don't know, when something new and fun comes out, just have you read it out of context.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Also, if you go to infinityflux.net, you can find a comic book that I wrote that Andy did the cover for. And you also came up with the name for it, too, which is Tales from Die Noon.
Did I? Oh, yeah.
Because I was trying to think of something, and you came up with that pun, and I was like, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm sure we've done other stuff together in the past, other than you say something funny, and then I just make a little doodle of it.
Yeah, you did do Dr. Gulper. Dr.
Gulper is one of the best. Very disturbing character.
What is a Dr. Gulper?
Somebody, I think Julia misheard me saying something. I think I was saying Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
And she heard Dr. Gulper. And then Andy just drew it, and it was very disturbing.
It's just this doctor, classic with, the reflector thing on their head. He's got a little, pencil thin mustache, but then he has this giant, nasty throat, like a frog. And he's just, clearly he's just drinking Dr. Pepper and it's just filling this thing up as it pulls out of his mouth.
Yeah, I know I'd regret asking.
But if you like this episode of the podcast, check out more on watchyourassilon.com. You can also find our podcast, our Patreon, and more at linktree/Watch-A-Thon. And I want to give a special shout out to Vincent E.L. for providing us with our amazing theme song.
Thank you, Vince.
You can check out more of their music at vincentel.bandcamp.com. Tune in next time when we talk about the Sontaran stratagem and the poison sky. Until next time, keep calm and wrestle on.
Goodbye, and I love you in a platonic, parasocial way.
You can say bye too.
Bye too.
Enjoy your Ood.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.